He's the one who hated. How would you even say that? Baburin?
I guess.
He's the one who hated Baburin. You think he did it? I've heard he's a weirdo. The warm farewells Romka and Biashka shouted at the back of the fleeing Simeon echoed inside my head.
Горло тебе перережу, слышишь?
Roma, I'll cut your throat, you hear? Porky. Was Romka serious about his threats? Would he chase his former friend deep into the forest and then what? Kill him just like that? No, that can't be right. I hurriedly rubbed my glasses. The glasses? Simeon was clutching them in his fists while trying to escape the barrage of kicks and slaps from his friends. Former friends by now. And in just a couple of hours, this lost item was laying on the ledge of my window. It was hard to imagine that Simeon suddenly got guilty conscious and returned the glasses in such a strange way. I was shocked, but kept walking towards the classroom, accompanied by nasty whispers all around me. That photo still stood before my eyes. Simeon had gone missing. Simeon is gone. His fat fingers will never get to my throat. His signet ring won't smash my chin. He'll never humiliate me again. Wasn't that what I wished for? On the other hand, did I really wish Simeon to become a murky stain on the notice board? He was still someone's son or grandson, and he went through the same struggles as me. He was also a little bitch. Did I really wish for my unseen companions to dispatch him in such a brutal fashion? I didn't know the answer. Or I was just scared of it. Nonetheless, school still had something nice about it. Polina, the girl with the violin, was like a mountain spring, like well water that you gulp down, pressing your lips against the zinc outer ring of a bucket, and can't ever get enough. This kid's got some crazy-ass analogies for like a 12-year-old.
Right, I was thinking that.
He does seem like a bit of a nerd, so I can see
That's true, yeah.
nerd smarts.
What if I make her one of the characters in the story I'll draw? The protagonist will save her from terrifying monsters.
Oh,
Now that's
no.
creepy, dude. That is some loser
Yeah.
behavior. Don't be doing that. As soon as I thought of the monsters, and a bunch of my classmates slid down the rails, smirking like the xenoforms from the aliens. Xenomorphs. I immediately felt the larvae of fear writhe in my stomach.
Not the
I didn't want to
larvae.
cross paths with Romka and Biashka after what happened yesterday, especially since Simeon suddenly went missing. Well, I definitely can't be acting weird around them, dude. They fucking matter.
Yeah.
They're gonna fucking beat the shit out of me now. I entered the classroom and went towards the last row. All the chatter suddenly died down, so I walked there in complete silence. I felt like my classmates pushed and poked me with their stares. They carefully observed my every move. I stared at the desk with a huge pile of library textbooks on top, my fist clenched. It felt like I was the one who disappeared in that snowy forest, and my desk was finally used for something worthwhile. Simeon's empty chair stood in front of me. The chair that once belonged Vova was gathering dust somewhere in another classroom. I have to choose to sit down.
If you can't.
I looked at the portraits of classical writers. My eyes stopped at Ensign's photo. Last year, I was tasked with learning any poem, and Dad suggested I learn the one about the dog Jim, written by Ensign. I don't remember all the stanzas by now, but the last one was somehow deeply ingrained in my memory. I'm sure she'll come back in my absence. Please catch her eye. Go kiss her hand for me. For all my real or fancied errors, asking forgiveness of her in guilt and humility. I'm stupid.
We know.
The plant? An old cheap slide projector. I called this model a tank because it looked like one. There was a time when I had a lot of cool fairy tales that we used to watch with Dad in complete darkness. I remember Little Raccoon and the One Who Sits in the Pond, Kipling's Mowgli, and many others. I was immediately swept away by the memory of the projector's hum, of its hot casing, of its bright rays hitting the wall, turning into a screen. It's a pity that the school slides were mostly about minerals and PSAs. Every boy my age knew had something like this in his arsenal. Powdered firecrackers that blow up with a very loud sound. Especially inside an archway, it is said that they are produced in China and that a single one of them can blow your finger off if you light it up and clutch it in your hand. Especially the black courser type. They won't be enough to blow up a plastic soldier, but when it comes to stuff made of plaster, they should work. Huh. Ah, I could have clicked the hint the whole time. I'm stupid. I shall sit down. After a moment of hesitation, I sat down at Barboon's desk, the place where I was supposed to be assigned by Lilian Pavlovna at first. The chatter resumed as if someone just unpaused a movie.
Бабушка Бабурина такой кипиш устроила, когда он домой не явился.
Katya. Barbin's grandma made such a fuss when he didn't return
Сначала
home.
в школу прибежала, потом ментов вызвала.
First she ran to the school, then called the cops.
Да-да-да.
Yes, yes, yes. Why'd she add that? Katya snuck a cunning glance at me and then leaned into her neighbor and whispered something. Girls from the second row also leaned in. She shared something with them, too. Whispers, nods. I kept catching her staring. Man, this translation gets rough sometimes. I kept
Yeah.
catching her stare on myself. I hate that. It's not wrong, but I hate it. I kept catching her stare on myself. Her neighbors stared too. The whole class was watching me. It was like they felt the need to watch me because they were searching for traces of blood on my fingers. I wanted to defend myself and shout, "Guys, listen, I'm innocent." Rumpke gave me a heavy, worried look. He was probably as stunned by Simeon's disappearance as everybody else, but then he directed his stare straight at my face. It felt like he was about to point his finger at me and shout at the top of his lungs, "Everyone look! Barbin snatched his glasses yesterday, and now he has them back. Murderer." But he remained silent, as if there was nothing special all about my glasses. I may be going mad, but I think Rumpke knows something. He knows something, but he won't tell me what. But it was also possible he didn't care at all, just like everyone else. Then Rumpke shifted his eyebrows in suspicion and stared at Katya, as if warning her that he didn't believe a word she said. I wanted to believe that Rumpke would take my side, and Bieshka, who sat sprawled in his chair with his chin pressed against the table too. But they were silent. A terrifying thought flashed my mind. Those two could easily betray me and push me off the cliff, just like they did with Simeon. As if looking for protection, I clutched the ruler until my hand hurt.
Не надо быть Коломбо, чтобы догадаться.
What the fuck? If you don't have to be Columbo to solve this. Who is Columbo? Columbo, an American crime drama television series starring Peter Falk and Columbo, a homicide detective with the Los Angeles Police Department. These are some crazy references, kids.
Yeah.
Кто на Бабурина зуб имел?
Who held a grudge against Barbin?
Кто его вчера ударил?
Who hit him yesterday,
Поиздевался.
bullied
А
him,
после?
and then the metal ruler fell out of my weak fingers. It hit the floor with a jangle that made the other kids shudder. They stared at me. Katya bit her tongue and squirmed nervously. Ooh. They scared of me now, huh? I think I'm gonna murder them or something? Chairs scraped against the floor. My classmates moved away from me, closer to the exit towards the teacher's desk. Alright, yesterday they were all jumping on the train to bully me and make fun of me, and now all of a sudden they're scared shitless because some kid disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know.
Yeah, whatever. It's stupid. I was not the only one to catch a wind of that change. Rumpke and Bieshka looked around and winced in the contempt.
Would
It's
you
good
be
that they
fucking
were
terrified
clearly
of
on my
this kid?
side.
He looks
Okay.
like a school shooter, for Christ's sakes.
No, he fucking doesn't. He's a
No, he
blonde
doesn't.
looking nerd.
I know.
Okay, first of all these kids look like freaks because they look like they're like 18, and then they just have children's like fucking bodies.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Да прикуси ты!
Bieshka, shut it.
Бабурин, небось, бабкой посрался и сдымил на.
Bieshka. I bet Briarba just got a whimp from his old hag and ran off.
Скоро найдется.
Bieshka. They'll find him soon.
Найдется, ага.
Katya. They'll find him all right.
Во враге, со
In a
вспоротым
ravine
брюхом.
with his stomach cut open. I gulped. Ooh, holy shit. That's an image right there. I imagine Simeon on the snowy blanket, his face white like the fish belly, split down the middle by the crevice of his mouth, snowflakes falling on his glassy eyes and filling up to his throat. He really does look kind of like a dead fish.
Little bit.
See? I can almost hear his condescending tone. It's all your fault. Ooh, there was some text on that little fuzz on the screen. Too bad I'll never be able to see it.
Yeah.
Of course, Simeon did me a favor by disappearing. Thanks to him, my classmates now stared at me in awe. But that was only one side of the coin. What if I'll have to repay that favor soon? The door creaked. Polina entered the classroom. I straightened up in a hurry so she wouldn't see me looking like a scared critter. Polina found me with her eyes, gave me a short nod, and went to her seat. Katya rushed to her neighbor again, like a lab rat that saw a treat, and started whispering, switching her gaze between me and... oh my god, I missed it. Messages on piece of paper started jumping around the classroom. Ooh. The ringer's trill announced... It's trill, right?
I think so.
The ringer's trill announced at the start of class.
Так, заканчиваем бардак.
Teacher.
Дети, встаньте.
All right, stop messing around. Class, stand up.
Петров, тебя это тоже касается.
You too, Petrov. Why wouldn't I stand up? Lilian Polova went to her desk, followed by a policeman in a uniform. It was the man that visited us just recently, tall, and his stare was sharp, so he could get a cut on us.
Здрасте.
Hello there, kids.
Здравствуйте!
Children, hi.
Садитесь.
Teacher, you can sit down, kids.
Познакомьтесь. Это старший лейтенант Константин Владимирович Тихонов.
Teacher, this is Senior Lieutenant... Russian name. Konstant Vladimirovich Tikhonov.
Konstantin
I have no idea, dude. I can't read it.
Mirovich Tikhonov.
It's worth a shot.
Fucking name.
Yeah.
Он задаст вам несколько вопросов и проведет небольшую лекцию по
Just call him
безопасности.
Vlad.
This is Senior Lieutenant Data expunged.
Yeah.
Facts. Oh, man. Teacher, he's going to ask you a couple of questions and give you a small PSA. The class livened up. Talking to a policeman was way better than studying. I, on the other hand, was ready to sit through hundreds of hours of Russian literature just to escape the lieutenant's oppressive stare. He literally is just staring at me. Excuse me. Motherfucker's looking at me. His brown eyes felt around the classroom looking for me. His hair stood on the back of my neck, and icicles had a... Wait. Icicle? Yeah, icicle lodged in my gut.
А правда, что
Katya.
Бабурина маньяк убил?
Is it true that Barbin got killed by a serial killer?
Екатерина, ну-ка,
Teacher.
циц. Вопросы
Shush.
здесь взрослые задают.
Ekaterina, let the adults ask the questions here.
Просто нам всем страшно.
Katya, we're all scared.
Может, убийца бродит где-то рядом?
Maybe the killer is somewhere close.
Или сидит у нас за спиной?
Maybe they're even sitting among us. Among us.
Fuck up.
Sorry.
I knew it was gonna happen as soon as I saw it. I was
Yeah.
like, you motherfucker.
Her sly stare was directed at me. That is definitely a shit-eating
something.
face.
Yeah.
Vlad stepped in between the rows of desks and started walking at an extremely slow pace, brushing his fingers against the chairs he passed by. Some of the students almost broke their necks following his movements. That's how a crowd of commoners would gleefully anticipate a public execution in the Middle Ages. And he just walked, getting closer and closer to me. I gritted my teeth to stop myself from screaming. Calm down. Breathe.
I did it.
You didn't kill or kidnap anyone. He already knew the answer to his question, but the policeman still asked in a stern
Петров
voice.
Антон.
Anton Petrov.
Да.
Yes?
Встань, Петров.
Stand up, Petrov, says the teacher. I don't like her. I'm really against being told to stand up.
I hate standing.
Yeah. My muscles turned to stone. I got up, unglued myself from the chair. I felt like I could hear all my joints creak in the process. I only wish that Polina wouldn't turn around and see the grimace of horror on my face. If only I could be somewhere far away in the forest, digging myself into a snow pile, rolling up into a ball, there. The officer stared at me as he was about to lock a pair of handcuffs on my wrist. I wonder how these bracelets are to the touch. I imagined myself getting jailed and put in a juvenile detention center where the tens of simians would constantly harass me.
Я ничего не знаю. Я тут ни при чем.
Hello.
Hello, Omega. It's story time.
Boy, yeah, it's story time.
Now I gotta turn you up because you'll be able to be heard in the video.
You.
Anton, I don't know anything. I have nothing to do with this.
А тебя никто и не обвиняет.
Vlad, nobody's accusing you of anything.
Пока что.
For now. Only now I noticed a file that said case number in his hand at a gray cover made from rough carton?
Yeah.
It flopped under the
that's
desk like a
weird.
guillotine blade that slid down on someone's neck. With a
Back
measured
on
motion, Vlad opened the file. You leaving? Bye.
Oh, bye.
Vlad opened the file, still studying me with his gaze. I caught a glimpse of the documents and photos. They all showed prints on the snow. They looked like animal prints.
Ты с Семеном Бабуриным общался?
Have you talked to Simeon Barbin before?
Я знал его всего один день.
Anton, I only knew him for a day.
Все знают. Петров его
Katya.
ненавидел.
Everyone knows that Petrov hated him. I turned
For
red.
Like a couple days.
You ugly bitch. I wanted to sink my teeth into Katya's face and chew out her chest. Listen here, dude. Maybe this motherfucker did kill him.
What the fuck?
I wanted to sink my teeth into Katya's face and chew out her cheek.
You out.
Instead, I replied with the
God.
calmest voice I could
Fucking
muster.
murder.
Мы повздорили вчера.
Anton, we had a fight yesterday,
Но он первый начал.
but he started it.
Я его ударил.
So I hit him.
Сильно?
How hard did you hit him?
Да нет, так.
Not that hard. I mean,
Look at me.
I waved my hand indecisively. Vlad looked at my fist as he was surprised that I managed to hit the big kid from the photo. Surprisingly, Lillian Pavlova came to my rescue.
Бабурин проблемный подросток. С шилом кое-где.
Baburin, dude, I gotta figure out his name. Baburin. Baburin. What do you think?
Baburin, I think.
Baburin. Baburin is a troubled
Babushka.
teen. Babushka. That's grandma.
That's grandma.
Yeah.
I know.
Baburin is a troubled teen, a true pain in the rear.
Сам ко всем лез.
Always picking fights with other kids. Uh-oh. Hey, that file said Petrov on it. The officer replied with a meaningful nod and fished out a notebook out of the file. Notebook of
Это
algebra.
твое?
Is this yours? I averted my gaze. It was a math notebook with my name on it. My classmates devoured me greedily with their eyes. It felt like even the writers on the portraits squinted at me in suspicion.
Мое.
Anton, yes.
В лесу нашли.
Vlad, we found it in the forest.
Там же тракторист, что снег убирал в последний раз, видел Бабурина.
In the area where the tractor driver who was plowing snow there last saw Baburin. I started blinking in bewilderment. Romka ransacked my school bag. This notebook probably just got lost somewhere in the bushes. The lieutenant knew about the school brawl. Was he aware of the fight in the forest clearing? I had witnessed that could testify to Simeon and I walking in different directions after that. I looked towards the boys, hopefully. Romka, who sat behind Chionka, put a finger to his lips. And when the officer quickly turned around, he pretended to pick his nose. I deciphered his signal. The boy, like Romka, would probably say something like, "Stitches get stitches" in a situation like this. I frantically fixed my glasses. Wait, Simeon took them away yesterday, but
Так
now
что ты
they're...
делал вчера в лесу, Антон?
So what were you doing in the forest yesterday, Anton?
Я в школу через лес хожу.
I go to school through the forest.
Могла выпасть легко.
It could have easily fallen out of my bag. Easily, just like me producing this half-truth.
Будь осторожнее.
Be careful out there. Before I could realize whether it was a genuine piece of advice or a veiled threat, the teacher
Класс.
said,
А сейчас лейтенант расскажет о правилах, которые вам необходимо соблюдать.
Class, the officer will now tell you about some rules you should follow.
Маньяк все-таки есть.
Katya, so the killer does exist.
Пока мы ничего вам сказать не можем.
Vlad, we can't make any of this public for now. Rumka swayed his chair and gave me a thumbs up. Attaboy. Good job keeping your trap shut. I nodded, even though I didn't feel a shred of pride from his praise. After all, he was the one who threw my notebook and textbooks into the snow. He was the one ordering Simeon, despite changing his allegiance later.
Но есть преступник или нет, вы должны четко помнить о собственной безопасности.
Vlad, whether the criminal really exists or not, you should be mindful of your safety.
Вас бережет милиция. Вас опекают родители и учителя. Но в первую очередь защищать себя должны вы сами.
The police, your parents, and your teachers all watch over you, but no one guards you better than yourself.
Итак, кто там что хотел узнать?
All right, any questions? A stockade of arms rose from the desks. The kids shouted over each other, swarming the policeman with questions. In an attempt to calm down the chorus, he moved towards the blackboard. The gray file was left laying in front of me. I stared at it, my breast so ragged that I might have looked like someone who just ran a 100-meter sprint. Beads of sweat rolled down my back. I looked around the classroom. My classmates were catching officers' every word. Only Romko was saying something to Biashka. Lily Pavlova was staring into the window, fighting back yawns. Do I open it, guys? Do I open it?
Open the fucking book.
Слишком мало времени.
Oh shit, I skipped that. As soon as I went to touch the file, Vlad looked at me. My hand instantly moved away as if that stare actually hurt. The officer just kept staring at me without saying a word, making me squirm under the weight of uncomfortable silence and the sneering looks of my classmate.
Bitch on my desk. I can take a look at it if I damn well believe.
And then he suddenly continued his speech as if nothing ever happened. Now I'm not touching it again. Ah, it's because he wasn't turned around. I'm still not fucking with it. It ain't worth it. I'm gonna go to jail in seconds. The officer finished his lecture and started searching around with his eyes. Finally, he noticed the folder he left on my desk, put it silently under his arm, and went towards the blackboard without looking back. He might have done that. He might have was trying to give me some info. Might have fucked it up. Vlad, let me say this again.
Если вы заметите в поселке кого-то подозрительного, неважно, возле школы или на лесной тропинке, сразу сообщайте милицию.
It's a lot of Russian, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. If you see anyone suspicious in the village, be it near the school or on the forest trail, contact the police immediately.
Телефон-то знаете?
You know our number, right? 02.
Спасибо, ребята.
Thanks for listening, boys and
Спасибо,
girls.
Лилия Павловна.
Thank you, Lillian Pavlovna.
И это,
And
одноклассника вашего мы найдем.
we'll find your classmate. Yeah,
He's
right. A thought flashed through my mind. Digging through enough ditches and maybe you'll be able to piece them together. Like Legos. That's kind of a fucked up thought. My thoughts turned evil for some reason. I couldn't control them. Ooh. I tried to switch to the lieutenant's speech about suspicious individuals. What if I saw the killer before? What if it was a hair's breadth away from here? Suspicious people. How suspicious was the fox girl that wandered in the darkness? A weirdo that always appears out of nowhere and dissolves into the air with their... Oh my god! A weirdo that always appears out of nowhere and dissolves in thin air with her riddles and rhymes. Could she really harm the hulking Simeon? Should I tell the officer about her? Wait, what if I get mocked for speaking out? What if they started whispering behind my back? Or what's even worse, think that I'm insane? Romke gave me a stern look over the shoulder. I doubt someone like him would approve of cooperating with the police. Katya's braid dangled nervously behind the delinquent sitting in front of me. My hands were glued to the
До
desk.
свидания, лейтенант.
Tikhonov was saying goodbye to Lene Vlad was saying goodbye to Lene Pavlovna. He was about to leave. It'll be too late soon. Tell him. I'm staying silent, motherfucker.
Yeah,
I ain't saying a
stay
fucking
first.
word. No way. I've had enough of humiliation. I'll keep my head down like a bunny. I lock my fingers and zip my mouth. Quiet as a mouse. Achievement attained. The bell rang. That was a long-ass speech for the cop to give.
Right.
Lena Polova passed by without looking my way. Polina left after her. My classmates went silent at the same time as someone muted the sound on a TV. They followed me with their eyes the whole time I was passing between the rows. Judgmental looks. I felt like I was in the scopes of many sniper rifles. I squeezed through the barricade made of desks looking for Polina. Man, look at his fucking picture. Ugly bitch. But instead, I stumbled into my new buddies. Romka and Vyashka were waiting for me at the notice board.
Я в тебе не ошибся, Тошик.
Roma. I was right about you. What the fuck? Tashik? The fuck is Tashik?
Toshik?
Пацан, не спалил, как мы чуть было свинью не забили.
Roma. Attaboy, you didn't rat us out. You know us. You know, us roughing up Porky.
Это повело бы милицию по
Антон.
ложному следу.
This would have given the police a false lead, I think.
А вы точно не имеете отношения к исчезновению Семена?
Are you sure you have nothing to do with poor Simeon's disappearance?
Мы-то нет, а вот ты.
Roma, no. But what about you?
Помнишь, как срулил от нас в потемках?
Remember how you bailed out on us in the darkness?
Ага, я так и говорю. Очкарик, дверь!
Vyashka. Yeah, I was like, this Four Eyes is a beast.
Тебя жирного нагонит и кокнет на!
We'll catch up with this fatso and end him,
I
eh?
want to kill both these kids.
Базар.
Yeah. What he said.
Однако мы тебе верим.
Рома.
А ты нам?
But we believe you. Works both ways, right? Romka's stern look made me uncomfortable, so I nodded.
Вот ты славно.
Roma. Good to hear. Romka lowered his voice and looked around the corridor in suspicion. The other kids were stealing glances at us, whispering.
Что ж, Сёма пропал, это правда.
Roma. So, Semya's missing. That's a fact.
Как и факт, что не просто пропал, а скорее
just-
всего уже сдох.
Not just missing, but most likely already dead. Vyashka shuddered.
А ты почем знаешь?
Anton. How do you know that?
Так
Roma. Because!
мы за это уже терли. Здесь такие случаи не впервой.
We already talked about this. It's not the first time this had happened.
Думаешь, Сенечка, Вова этот и Сёма в
I
Нарнию
think
попали?
Shenchka, Vova, and Syaman went to Narnia,
Посидят в лесу с
and they
карамелькой за
returned from the
щекой и
forest
назад
after hanging out
пришлепают.
there, sucking on some candy.
Ясно же, кто их к себе прибрал.
It's clear who got them.
Неужели черный?
Can it be the black
Маничела!
Vyashka, the serial
Man.
killer? Yeah.
Пацаны, это
Бяша.
все местный Чикатило.
Sure as fuck, guys. It's the local Chikatilo, eh? What is Chikatilo? Andre Chikatilo, a Soviet serial killer and cannibal. He sexually assaulted and killed at least 43 people, mostly women and children. Ew. He was
That's
later deemed
fun.
legally sane and sentenced to death by firing squad. Rip, motherfucker.
Get wrecked, bro.
Вычислить бы еще, кто
Антон.
он такой.
If only we could find out who he is.
Ну, если этот убийца Бабурина завалил, он и по нашу душу явится, отвечаю.
Roma. Well, if that killer off Bourbon, he'll come after us too. I don't know. I wonder if that's like an issue with this. Because I thought it always said like his actual full name, not Roma. Weird.
Что же делать?
Anton. What do we do now?
Вместе держаться, вот что. Втроем мы, как Вольтрон.
Stay together. That's what. The three of us are like Voltron. I know what Voltron is. I don't need a description of Voltron. Biasha.
You know, you sure you don't want
В
an
Вольтроне
in-depth
их 5
description
было.
about Voltron?
I don't want to learn. Fine, well, let's learn some facts about Voltron, guys.
Yeah.
Voltron, an anime series about 5 teenagers that pilot robot lions that can fuse into a singular mega robot to protect the universe from the forces of evil. It was aired in Russia during the 1990s on channel 2X2.
See, you didn't know about that last part.
I don't care about that last part, you fuck you. Biashka. Or Biasha. There were 5 of them in Voltron. Eh?
Ну, считай, мы покалеченный Вольтрон.
Well, we're an injured Voltron then. He looked at me with an adult gaze and nodded. His eyes were full of worry and sadness.
Ладно, раз Сёмы больше нет,
Roma.
айда с нами.
Whatever. Since Simeon is no longer with us, let's go.
Дело одно есть. Постоишь для вида, покараулишь. Тебя, кажется, уже боятся все.
Roma. We have a job to do. You'll keep watch for us. Everybody seems to be scared shitless of you. Scared shitless? Of me? Well, I still couldn't wrap all that around my head. Their attitudes softened me up, and I agreed on the spot. I followed Rumka and Biasha through the twilight corridors of our school, savoring my newfound brazenness. We walked pompously like heroes of some criminal drama, as if 3 of us had access to some knowledge hidden from everybody else. I'm not sure I would have gone with them if they told me what the goal of our new campaign was. We hid in the darkness near the school gym, and my companions started rubbing their knuckles, watching boys leave the dressing room. Finally, Biasha pointed at someone inside the crowd.
Вон этот лох!
Here's that sucker, Biasha. Rumka smiled dangerously and proclaimed in a low voice.
Стой на стрёме, и если кто из училок
Roma,
объявится,
keep
дай
watch.
знать.
If you see a teacher, let us know.
Гляди в 4 глаза.
Biasha, watch with all 4 eyes, eh?
Давай, давай.
I stood at the
Ты нам
corner filled with
должен.
conflicting feelings and thoughts.
Ничего я не должен.
Ты чё, не понял?
In a cul-de-sac behind me, Rumka was having a back and forth with some 5th grader.
Может, тебя на счетчик поставить, а? Ушлепок майонезный.
Jesus Christ. The boy was protesting on the verge of tears, but Rumka stood his ground, spewing countless obscenities at him, while Biashka occasionally adding a couple of his own. Would Dad praise me for involving myself with this?
Всё, вали давай.
Roma. Excuse me. Alright, now scram. My new friends came out of the cul-de-sac. A light bulb illuminated the camera in Rumka's hands.
Ого, полароид.
Anton. Wow.
Ой.
A Polaroid? Is it yours? Rumka shook the black electronic marvel with a retractable flash,
Теперь
disinterested.
мой.
Rama. It is now.
Мне тут один должник велик торчал за свой гнилой
Рамка.
базар.
There was this guy who owed me a bike for talking shit.
Но, говорит, нет у него велосипеда.
Turned out he didn't have one.
Вот и расплатился фотиком.
So he paid with the cam.
А мне он, честно говоря, в хер не впился.
And I have jack shit use for it. I felt bad for that boy, while all the negative thoughts disappeared when I looked at the treasured camera. Oh, they gave me the camera? I could clearly imagine how happy Olya would be with this Polaroid. I imagined myself taking pictures of my sister, dad, and mom. The faces of my family would gradually appear on the hard papers as if emerging from the dissolving mist. I'd take pictures of Polina too. That way, I'd be able to get her photo for myself. Ew. I'd keep it in my desk under lock and
Тебе не
key.
нужен, можешь мне его отдать?
If you don't need it, can I get it? Roma measured me up with a sharp glare, turning into Rumka I'd met yesterday. The callous leader of the carnivorous pack.
Ты извини, братан, но я вещами
Okay.
просто так не разбрасываюсь.
Sorry, bro. But I don't throw away things like that.
Могу в ломбард загнать, ну или разыграть во что-нибудь.
I can drop it at a pawn shop or bet it on some game. For some reason, as soon as he mentioned a game, I remembered Elisa. I looked at the Polaroid.
Ну давай я с тобой на него сыграю. Только во что?
Well, let's play for it then. Do you have a game in mind? Biaksha snickered into his fist.
Чаром! Снимем с нас вантовки последние штаны.
Yo, Ramka, shall we make Antoshka lose his shirt?
Я тебя что, пидор с пацанов штаны снимать?
Do I look like someone who'd strip another dude to you? Ramka stared at me from above.
На что играть собрался?
What do you have to bet?
У тебя хоть бабки есть?
Do you even have cash?
Во-во! Свети
Яша.
карманы, Тофик.
That's right. What's in your pockets, Tushik? I slowly turned the pockets out of my pants inside out, in ways of hoping to salvage at least some change from my lunch money. Something rustled in my pocket. I fished out the Mercedes-Benz insert I got thanks to Alyssa. I guess I shoved it in there without thinking when it flew out of my school bag with all of the notebooks.
А на вкладыши играете?
Anton, will you play for this insert? The Escher's eyes almost popped out of their sockets as soon as I brought the car's picture closer, but Romka didn't move a muscle.
Хочешь, чтобы я целый фотик за какой-то там фантик отдал?
Want me to bet a whole camera for some insert?
Это за...
Yasha, that's...
Да жвачки это и рубль цена, в полароиде кассета еще целая.
The gum is worth 1 ruble. This Polaroid has fresh cartridges inside of it.
Да это да!
Yasha, look,
Ой,
that's...
у меня таких вкладышей жопой жуй, на кой мне еще?
Romka, I have a shit ton of inserts like that. Why would I want...
Мерседес-Бенц, на! И вот она бы не хватало,
Yasha,
Робert!
Mercedes-Benz, eh? The one we're still missing, Rumka?
Фу, блин.
Rumka spit on the ground and slapped Yasha over the back of the head.
Ну ты и трепло, братка. Теперь он за него цену до небес
Stop,
взвинтит.
Why can't you keep your mouth shut? Now jack up the price. Just like I expected, this automobile was a valued addition for every turbo gum collector.
Ага, значит, появился интерес.
That's an aha! So this caught your eye
Так во
after
что будем
all.
играть?
What are we gonna play?
Подкидного!
Sieg Durka?
God, that fucking
В ножички?
shit-eating grin.
Mumbly Peg?
Yeah.
I blinked. In the blink of an eye, a greasy deck of most likely marked cards appeared in Biashka's hand, and Ramka masterfully swung his butterfly knife like in front of my nose. I had no desire to play by their
А давайте
rules.
в камень-ножницы.
Let's play rock, paper, scissors.
О, а ты у нас любишь
Ramka.
рисковать.
Oh, I see you're a
Ну
gambler.
что, мой полароид против твоего Мерса?
All right, my Polaroid against your Mercedes.
По рукам.
Anton, deal. Oh, guys, what am I throwing? What am I throwing?
Big dude, them fucking scissors.
Scissors?
Yeah, I'm thinking scissors.
Dave?
No, I have no mind for this.
Scissors.
Scissors. Oh, fuck!
Красавчик!
Ah, fuck.
Damn,
Rumka
that's
and Biashka
rough.
started cackling when I lost.
Красава,
Nice one,
Ром.
Rumka. Toshka never stood a chance, eh? As sad as I was to be left with nothing in the end, I held out the insert to the boys. Dad always said that a card debt is scared, and still stood true here, even without the cards.
Чё, Тошик, приуныл? Ладно, давай как другу дам шанс отыграться.
Why so sad, Toshik? Fine. Since we're friends, I'll give you a chance to get it
Играем,
back.
скажем, до 3 побед.
Let's say we play best of 5.
Ну ты, Ромыти,
Яшка,
щедрый тип.
you're so generous, dude. My friend thought another hang to like laugh, and then Rumka lifted his fist with a serious look in his eyes. He was raring to go. Fuck, guys. Guys, all right,
Scissors
so
can't think
Rock.
twice.
well, no, if he
Rock.
went no, if he went rock last time, right? And he's more than likely gonna go paper or scissors, or paper or scissors, because he'll. So it's a gamble, right? 'Cause if he went rock, he'll go paper or scissors. Thinking I'll go rock, maybe. What do you guys think? I think scissors
Yeah.
might be the bet with this one.
Yeah,
Go for it.
right.
Fuck, I don't know. I don't want to. All right, yeah, we'll throw scissors. Oh, fucker! What a bitch. All right, he'll probably. I wonder if his AI is actually something or not, because I know I'm worried. So if he threw scissors, he'd think I'd throw paper next, because he thinks I'm gonna throw rock. But no, I'm gonna throw scissors again. Yeah. And you know what? He'll think to go rock, because I'm gonna, or. Think I'll throw scissors again? No. Throw paper, baby. Yeah! Alright, now he doesn't know what to think. And so now what am I going to hit him with? I'm going to hit him with that paper again. Fuck! Alright, if that's the case, then he'll probably throw rock next, right? Paper? Yep. Alright. Oh, shit! I won! Oh! I looked at my opponent with suspicion.
Ну, я выиграл. Или теперь мне нужно еще и Бяшу обыграть?
So, do I win now, or do I need to beat Biasha too? He'd probably refuse to play by the rules, and I'll be left with nothing.
Эй, Ромыч, все по чесноку, на.
Hey, Rumpka, he won fair and square, eh? Rumpka Kulu. I would just give him the card. I don't see what the issue is. Rumpka, reluctantly gave it up.
Везучий ты, сука. Держи.
Rumpka, you're one lucky bastard. Here,
Только писюн свой не фоткай.
just don't take pictures of your wiener.
Make me.
Yeah.
I weighed the Polaroid on my palms and realized I was smirking like a true winner. Oh, dude, that kid's gonna make a police report and I'm gonna have the fucking camera now. It's been 7 days since the lieutenant visited our class. At first glance, everything was still the same. The forest still held out its gnarly claws towards the village, and the wind whipped up white flags, weaved from powdery snow every night. When my parents argued in the other room, I would turn up the TV's volume to silence their muffled voices and sit close to Alia. Vova and Simeon's photo were still 2 black spots on the notice board. But something did change. I could see how different the looks of my classmates were. They made my pockets bulge with gifted apples. Their animosity was gone. School wasn't scary anymore. But most importantly, a shadow slid across my desk, leaving behind a mysterious note. I glanced in the space between the rows, but the messenger was already nowhere to be found. Who sent this note? What could this carefully ripped out and neatly folded piece of paper be hiding from me? More threats or humiliations? Or... I took the paper and carefully inhaled, wafting the aroma. Blackberry. I'll be waiting at the cul-de-sac near the dressing room. Come alone.
Oh, yeah.
Inside was a message in between handwriting. I'm waiting at the dead end near the dressing room. Come alone. That is not what that note says. the note literally says right there, I'll be waiting at the cul-de-sac near the dressing room. Come
I
alone.
think it's
And then,
implying that the cul-de-sac is a dead end.
well, yeah, because it said it earlier, like it called the dead end of the hallway a cul-de-sac. But I'm just saying, I don't know why they bothered, putting it down here. Drunk on that sudden call, I immediately started walking, looking over my shoulder from time to time, making sure nobody is following me. I didn't even notice how I almost broke into a run and jumped around the corner.
Hola.
Hi, Fret.
Hello.
It's Frosticles.
How you guys doing?
We're
Doing good.
we're reading this. Anyways, as soon as I did that, I rammed into somebody inside the dark nook.
Oi!
Paulina, ow! Like a magic bird, a green notebook glided to my feet. Paulina puffed her chest in exaggerated anger.
Петров! Да ты совсем зрение потерял.
Paulina, Petrov, have you lost your sight completely? I fixed my glasses. My nearsightedness wasn't that embarrassing anymore. I bent down and picked up the notebook.
Прости, я так торопился. Ты меня ждала? Что случилось?
Anton, sorry, I was in a rush. Were you waiting for me? Did something happen? Paulina studied me with her eyes and clicked her tongue.
А знаешь, на что ты похож, Антоша?
Paulina, do you know what you look like, Antasha?
На блюзовую импровизацию.
Like blues improv. What the fuck does that mean? Kind of like back-ass compliment insult is that? God damn.
Oh,
I blinked in bewilderment.
Это как?
Anton, what do you mean?
Для меня все люди с чем-то
Полина.
ассоциируются.
I always associate people I know with something.
И для меня. Но не с музыкой же.
I do that too, but why music?
Вот как раз с музыкой.
Paulina, it can't be anything other than music.
Бывают люди гитарные соло. Или барабанный бой. Или военный марш, как наша Лилия Павловна.
Some people are like guitar solos, some are drums. People like our Lilian Pavlovna are war machines. Sorry, war marches.
А ты такой задумчивый, таинственный, иногда немного печальный.
And you're so thoughtful, so mysterious, sometimes even a bit sad.
Ты точно блюз.
You're definitely blues.